Yeah, he said, I just found out that Lydia knew I was being casted for this TV show, and therefore she followed suit.
Yeah.
And she's out there to sabotage me.
You know what? Can I just say it? The women were not having it.
Yeah, see, when girls start fixing their hair like that, they're not siding with you. There's something in that story that's a bit iffy. That's what they're trying to let you know.
Except for Johnny. Her mouth dropped.
Her jaw dropped. She was giving me a shock and a yawn at the same time. So a Sean.
Hey guys, welcome back to Human No Resource. I'm Uma.
Selma.
Okay, it's been a while. Okay, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And you know, we decided to say, we're going to watch Love is Blind as normal citizens.
Yeah.
But we were talking amongst each other so badly, we're like, we got to get this on film.
Love is Blind started and we're like, it started. So we started watching it.
And we're like street psychologists.
We're street psychologists, street therapists, and we're just talking a lot of smack. And this season is crazy.
Oh, that's a lot.
And then at the end, we're like, our 2 weeks is over.
Episode 8, episode 9. The first episode is going to be Love is a Battlefield. To be honest, I like that song. Love is a battlefield. Yeah. So we're going to talk about it. And it starts with Uche and Milton.
Anyways, I honestly think Uche is on a campaign to clear his reputation because Lydia did some serious damages. Yeah. And Uche came as well with his receipts to try to, expose Lydia for who she is. And we didn't review the previous episode, but you guys know Lydia, how she is, and you know exactly how Uche is. Uche is really bringing that lawyer in him, all that training, calm demeanor.
He's like, I'm done being the nice guy. I'm done not saying anything. I'm going to come forward and literally, as much as she screwed with my relationship with Aaliyah, I'm going to try to screw up with her relationship with Milton.
How childish is that, though?
No, is it childish, Selma? I don't think so. You know what? At this
He's
point,
a lawyer.
So what?
You can just grab whatever reputation you have left and go back to the firm and continue working.
I always wonder why Johnny and Uche didn't get together. They're both lawyers.
This part that got me in this whole clip. When Uche was talking to Milton, okay, and I feel like they were having a serious, very respectful conversation, sharing each other's point of view. And when Lydia came out of nowhere like a rocket, and she was like, Milton, no, Milton, no. And she snatched him out of his position, and she took him away. And he was like, 5 minutes. Remember when Lydia was talking to Uche in the previous episode?
Like a 3-year-old child who needs his diaper changed. That's what I saw.
Yeah, but you remember when Lydia was talking to Uche, and after that, Milton came up and he took a seat and sat down. And he was like, okay, we need to go. And she's like, give me a minute. I swear there's some women out there, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna say it. You guys are so meticulous and you look for it if a guy respects you in that sense. Like, is he gonna take my word when I tell him, give me 1 minute, Feminism a bit. And Milton respected him and said, okay, I'll be back in 10 minutes because we got somewhere to go. Yeah. And he left. So I was like, okay, 1 point for Lydia. But when it comes his time to get the same respect and said, give me a 5 minute or something like that, she goes, no, all that went out the window.
Because she's possessive.
I got a problem with that.
I think if Milton says yes at the altar, that would be one of the biggest mistakes that he's ever made.
Uche, why do you care? Apart from, okay, you could be doing a good Samaritan, trying to save him, right, and whatnot. But realistically speaking, everybody's looking at you saying, why do you care that much? Milton ain't your homeboy, and Lydia's your ex that supposedly, he says that she's crazy. So
yeah, I'm just going to point this out. He had a 2-year situationship with Lydia, right?
Okay.
So there's something familiar about her, okay? He likes that,
back and forth thing.
Probably that spice that she has.
Listen, it's understandable that you found out that Lydia is crazy with the quotation, okay? But it says a lot about you how long you stayed with her. Yeah. It really does. It's like people looking at you saying,
can we see character flaw? So moving forward from that whole situation, Uche decided to join the rest of the people, the pod squad, and this gathering party, whatever, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And
Johnny was there, Chris was there, Renee was there, Izzy was there, Stacy was there, Miriam was there. I'm missing the last girl.
The Asian girl, right?
It's a pretty Asian girl, yeah.
Yeah. So
Johnny was there.
So he says to people, that Lydia kind of followed me in this experiment.
Yeah, he said, I just found out that Lydia knew I was being casted for this TV show, and therefore she followed suit.
Yeah.
And she's out there to sabotage me.
You know what? Can I just say it? The women were not having it.
Yeah, see, when girls start fixing their hair like that, they're not siding with you. There's something in that story that's a bit iffy. That's what they're trying
Except
to let
for
you know.
Johnny. Her mouth dropped.
Her jaw dropped. She was giving me a shock and a yawn at the same time. So a Sean.
Mm-hmm. She gave you a Sean, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the minute she did that, Stacy, what is your god problem?
Yeah. Stacy, you are looking like a bully right now.
What the heck?
Yeah. Stop it.
So she tells, like, what's with your face? That's what she said, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's with your face?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I saw Izzy was saying, Stacy, he has his eyes that he does. He was just so low, Stacy.
Like, that guy was drunk.
Stacey.
Listen, the reality
But he said
is...
something, Uche said something that bothered me. He said that because of Lydia, I lost all the possible chances I could have with Aaliyah. And I'm calling that cap. Because I think it's around 30% Lydia was a problem, and the 70% is all that doubt and that whole unassurance and all that just...
I'm going to say 50-50. I'm sorry.
Okay, for you, 50-50. It was all coming from you. And I think you gave definitely Aaliyah a hard time, even though you have a similar circumstance when she told you that she cheated on her previous ex. Instead of you saying, okay, you know what, I've done similar on the spot. I've done similarly and I've learned from my lessons and, you know, doesn't define who we are and all that stuff. Just to kind of bring each other closer, you made her look like she's a sole person, a fault person. This one, and you have a character flaw and something wrong about you, and you can go ahead and think about it for a second. And you make yourself look like a good guy. And she really thought that, okay, I can never measure up to this guy. And she would start losing all that hope in the relationship. And Lydia just came and sprinkled one or two things about your previous character. And she took a hiatus. She left. So I think you need to take full responsibility on that one. And Lydia, yeah, some responsibility can go to her.
So Stacey chimes in and she really says it to Uche. You know what? Lydia was supporting Aaliyah in your whole situation about the whole cheating thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, they gave their perspective to him. The thing is, Uche and also Miriam really had it. Like, they really got into it.
Miriam jumped right in to give her 2 cents because, again, Uche, you're speaking to everybody in this room. I don't think you were speaking to one person particularly. And when Miriam chimed in, you went off.
On Miriam. Yeah.
Why?
Like, well, because she's Nigerian also? I don't know. There's a familiarity. Sometimes I feel like when you come from the same culture, there's a familiarity about it where you're like, I don't want to hear it, you know, because he's trying to be polished. He's trying to be elegant. He's trying to be different. And when you have somebody who's from the same culture, you're like, no. You're, I don't know what it is. I don't know. What do you call it? But yeah.
That needs to be fixed.
He didn't go off on, what's her name? Stacy.
Yeah.
But he went off on Miriam.
Yeah. He goes, I want to hear what Stacey has to say.
And after he went back
you.
on saying, I don't know where you like your education, you're fabricating basically all your whole life. And after they really had it. Now I'm going to say this about Miriam.
He's a rude guy.
Miriam, you didn't need to do all of that. Okay, even though he's pointing out your character and your education, all that, you had just sat there elegantly and brushed it off.
Or even God, I'll take your drink and be like, okay.
He's an angry guy.
He's an angry guy, and continue going somewhere else. So maybe take the girl gang and go somewhere else.
Because in the end of the day, that's what he did. He just stood there holding a drink, and he's like, okay, let her just continue yelling, making you look like you're crazy. And even though you are somewhat valid. So I thought that whole situation was insane. So after all of that, Uche and also Milton had a conversation. They talk about Pythagorean theorem and all that jazz. And Milton said to him, I'll talk to you in the chats. Moving forward. Izzy and Chris finally had a conversation, you know, about their whole experience in the pod. Now, from where I'm seeing things, I feel so bad for Chris.
Yeah.
Wow. Like in the beginning, I think, you know what, I'm going to say this. From all of the guys, I liked Chris. I'm like, this guy is innocent. This guy is pure at heart. He seems like a really good guy and everything. Yeah. And all of the rest of them were kind of sketchy for me, to be honest.
Okay.
Now, so moving forward from that, Izzy was saying that, yeah, your girl was, you know, she said to me that she was in love with me for 4 times.
I was counting.
Ugh. And after Chris really said, oh my God, did she really do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
Okay, well.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. What's her name? Joe? James? What's her name? Johnny. Okay, Johnny, listen, I'm going to point it out. You really showed a certain character of yourself in the pod where you were running your mouth the whole time. I saw you. People seeing you.
In what sense she was running her mouth?
Where she was like, Izzy's my guy. I don't care what he is.
Claiming territory.
She's claiming territory and all that. Stacey did not say anything, okay?
Because she's trying to be very, you know, she's keeping
technical in the game.
Yeah, but she's even keeping her her guards close to herself just because she doesn't want to fumble, you know? She wants Izzy as well, and she doesn't want to expose that relationship so that it could damage it or it could harm her chance of winning him, and she'd want him anyway, so...
Yeah. And after, we already know Johnny really wanted Izzy so badly. Unfortunately, he's like, I'm not seeing it. He moved on and he went with Stacy, and with her, she backtracked with Chris. And that's the reality, if you like it or not. You know what I mean? You could make up what kind of crazy story that, you know, I was going for men that I have a horrible pattern with, and Izzy is that type of guy. And but Chris is the safe space or safe guy for me.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay, listen, here, I'm going to say this point, okay? It says a lot when your guy or girl can't move on from their past. If Johnny is your past, write it off and move forward. You making all that effort to come and to reinsert the original storyline. Did Johnny really hurt you that much? Why can't you laugh about it, saying that I got the girl that I want, Stacy, and say, yeah, sure, rewrite every song you want, Johnny, keep it pushing.
You know,
why? And then Stacy is coming out of nowhere. I think both of them, Stacy and Izzy, they feed off of bashing Johnny and like taking her down to the ground.
Yeah, but they did say that prior to all of that, they did hear that Johnny was saying a lot of stuff about them negatively. So that's why they came in with this type of hit. Yeah, it's not showing on camera.
We need receipts.
So yeah, we definitely need receipts on that. So after the party, we see Izzy and Stacy going back home, and they have a conversation. Now, one of the conversation was kind of alarming for me. Check it out.
I saw you railing into her, and I got so turned on. I appreciate our relationship.
Now, I'm going to say this about Izzy. Do you only love your woman when she is defending you like a dude? Like, at this point, it's very alarming. That's what you see her. Like, every time she does something...
Johnny is occupying his
He's definitely... Mind. And that whole scene was so embarrassing. He was drunk, I would say. He was drunk.
Not a drunk talk.
Now, also, Stacy does say that, what do you do for me? You know what I mean? Because at this point, if you guys don't know it or not, it seems like she's a cash grab. You know what I mean? There's so many things that she has that he loves. And I feel like he's an opportunist at this point. You know what I mean? She has the house. She has the great car. She has a great job and all of that.
What was she again? She says something operational manager?
She's an operational manager.
And
she does Pilates and all that stuff.
Yeah, she's a Pilates instructor.
She's a hardworking woman, you know? And at this point, she says, I do things around the house. I cook and I clean.
Right.
And he says, I do things too.
Yeah, he said the things that I do doesn't get noticed because you focus on the one thing I don't do. I don't know. There could be truth to that.
Do you think so?
I don't care.
You don't care about the whole relationship.
But he gets very upset, very frustrated, and he actually leaves her sight. And he goes to
And what does he do?
He runs to the closet.
And he didn't even close the door, and he cries there.
And then so she says, okay, now I'm the bad guy. And she goes and she works it out with him. I'm noticing it's an increasing pattern.
It's an increasing pattern. First, he gaslets her how many times, ignores what she's actually saying. He doesn't even have proof to what he's saying, to be honest. And after that, he cries. So, Stacy, be careful. This guy is very emotional. So now we have meet the parents. So Izzy finally brings his mother Raina to finally meet Stacy.
Yeah, and he talks about how Stacy is, talking about she is loud, sassy, tough to deal with, not easy, L'Oreal by Paris.
Interesting, right? So far, it's going very well. Now, I'm going to say one thing. And I'm not judging her, okay?
His mama or Stacy?
I'm not judging her.
Okay.
You're going to know who it is. I'm just critiquing Stacy. If this marriage does not work out, then I hope you take my criticism, my positive criticism, or whatever.
Constructive criticism.
Thank you, Salma. To your next family that you're going to meet, right? Why are you wearing a tanky and also a crop top and jeans when you're finally meeting the parents?
Oh.
Like, I did not like that look whatsoever.
Okay.
It was not proper.
It was not
You need
deep.
to be elegant. You need to be sweet. Even I felt like how she was talking to her, Izzy's mom was a little rough a little bit.
No, honey.
It was, no, you know what? It wasn't to what I expected. You know, I expected.
You wanted her to be formal?
Very formal.
You know what was very formal, and we'll get to it? What's that girl's name? Lydia. But I like Raina, Izzy's mom, when she talked about how, guys, marriage is not a game. It's not easy, and I don't want to be an overprotective mother to my son, but I really hope you guys get it right. And I really hope my son treats you right. And I hope my son finds a supportive, loving, caring, everything she was saying. I was
wonderful.
like, yes, mom.
Yes.
And I really liked his mom a lot. Yeah.
Now, well, let's talk about the other parents. Milton's. Wow. Now, his family is intense.
You know, Milton, does your mom work in Secret Services? Because she went straight for Lydia's credentials.
I'm just going to point this out. This is every girl's worst nightmare when meeting the family for your fiance, boyfriend, or husband. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
even the mom corrected. She's like, what is it? Milton? No, his real name is James IV. Okay. What did you do? Geology. I love women in STEM. Okay. What's your name? She said, Vazel or Velez Gonzalez, and she goes, She goes from Puerto Rico, and she goes, And then the daughter was like, my mom's gonna check you up, and she's like, go for it. And the mom said, that's what I do. Intense.
You know, Lydia was putting her dominance in. It's like, go for it. And then the mother said, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a little dominant, power grab in that. You know what I mean?
And just, Lydia's letting her know that I'm here.
And also the sister said one thing. She's like, what would a 30-year-old
do with a 24-year-old?
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys see in that relationship? And I think, okay, fine. We can talk about how there is lies within the community. It's like, oh, it's okay for a man to marry a girl who's super young. Why it's not okay for... We get that argument. But when it really comes to your family, you might turn into like Milton's sister, and it's understandable.
Like she's protecting her brother in the end of the day.
Yeah, but she called the relationship phony.
Yeah.
And then she did the shady eye thing. I'm like, girl, stop it. Yeah.
Now, I just want to say one thing, okay?
Oh.
Milton never, ever open a bottle of wine ever again.
Oh, yeah, he was struggling with this.
That was such a struggling moment. And in the end, you didn't even open it. It was like so pathetic.
Yeah.
But
there's a point where Milton's mom and his sister took Lydia to the side to talk to her, and I think it was very important. I can be honest with you guys,
super intense.
They were very hostile.
I feel bad for her.
I didn't feel the welcoming thing, even though, let's just say for argument's sake, they don't want her. But you guys can...
You have to be pleasant. You have to be nice.
Like, hey, welcome to their house. Did you enjoy the food? La, la, la. All that stuff. You know what I mean? But just to kind of... let's talk about things. If you have children. My favorite part was when she said, it will be something James V. And the sister's like, 4th. And she's like, I was like, no. She's right. 5th.
Yeah.
Like, even
Lydia
knows
did
your
her homework.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to say this to the mother. Do not be so strict in what your son is searching or looking for or whatever, because you don't want to chase your son away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True.
He could probably disregard whatever you said because to spite you and just go with Lydia.
Yeah, and
like
I can handle an older woman.
Lydia came there scripted. She did a fantastic job. But Milton mom was right. Marriage is hard work.
It really is.
Now I'm going to say this. I have to question Lydia's intention in all of this, okay? Are you a girl who just loves love and you just want to be married and find the right guy? Or is there something under this whole thing?
Yeah, like, I want to get to the altars. I want to see if I'm marriage material. And then I'll think about the consequences later.
And it comes down, is your intention pure?
Yeah. So I understand Milton's mom and sister have good concerns. But then again, guys, go easy on the girl. It's not easy, her being in the situation she's in as well. Personally, I like Milton's mom.
So that's our review for episode 8. You guys, stay tuned for episode 9. Please
and
subscribe
the rest
and
of
like
episodes.
the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, we're back now.
Yeah, we're back, yes. Please subscribe and like this video, and bye now.